Hey, so if you don't know me, my name is Lorrie Rivers, and I am currently specializing in managing long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome. Also goes along with that is myalgic encephalomyelitis, fibromyalgia, and some other things as well. But what I wanted to talk about today is the question that I get asked the most. So, a little bit about my background. I actually came down with severe chronic fatigue syndrome after a viral infection many, many years ago and had it for 8 years. So, I was housebound and bedbound for the majority of that time. And the question that I get asked the most now, because people are developing chronic fatigue syndrome from COVID. So, yeah, that question is, how did you get well? What did you do that got you to the place where you were completely well? And the answer is I really wish that I could give you just one answer, that it was just this or just that. But the truth of the matter is that it was the truth of the matter is that I don't even know exactly what did it. But I do know what moves you towards recovery, what will get you from being in the place where you can barely move to being in a place where you're able to start maybe being more physically active. It's still not going to be anything close to what you used to be for a while, but I do know what to do in order to do that. And I wish that I could just give you a pill or just say it was this one thing. But I'll tell you the top 3 things that I recommend. So the first one is to take rests. Even if you used to be a marathon runner, even if you used to uh, be just on 24/7, schedule times for yourself to lie down, close your eyes without any distractions, and simply rest for 15 to 30 minutes. I recommend doing it twice a day. So that means you're not listening to podcasts. You might listen to maybe a guided meditation or some gentle music. You're not playing with your phone. You're just resting. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to modify your diet. So for anybody who has, and you probably already know this, right? We know that sugar is bad for us. We know that alcohol is bad for us if we have too much. We know that caffeine is not great for us, right? So we know all these different things, but we try to get around them with, red wine is healthy because it has these certain things in it. Same thing with caffeine and things like that. The thing is that your body right now, if you are dealing with long COVID or chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia or Lyme's disease, whatever it is, MS, your body is not able to deal with the toxins that are in alcohol and substances that have caffeine in them nearly as well, even chocolate. So I know you don't want to hear that, but just for right now, because what has happened in your body has affected most likely many, many organs, including your possibly your adrenals, right? And so we know that caffeine is going to mess with your adrenals. We know that alcohol is going to mess with your liver and create more toxins. So cut out sugar, cut out caffeine, cut out alcohol. If you have been eating lots of sugar for a long period of time, then you're going to want to do it gradually. You're going to want to cut it out gradually. If you want to just go for it whole hog, just dropping all sugar right away, that's great too. I'd also suggest cutting down on carbs. So even what we consider to be healthy carbs, like sweet potatoes and things like that, can create a more toxic load on your body. And also mean that your body is dealing with those carbs as opposed to being able to use all the healthy fats and nutrients from things like beef or your salmon, so fish, fatty fish you want to focus on as well. And I'll talk more about food and diet in another installment here, because the way that I think about that right now is a lot different from the way that I used to. If you're a vegetarian, we're going to have a different kind of conversation. I was a vegetarian for a very long time. And one of the things that I had to shift was I had to start eating meat when I was sick, and it did make a difference. And I find that with my clients and students as well. The third thing is mindset. So if you're alive today, pretty much, you've been taught, you've learned that in order to be worthy, in order to be seen as important or vital or even a good person, the belief is that you have to be productive, that you have to work hard. And when you have these illnesses, you have to redefine how you determine your self-worth, how you determine your own worth. Because we have days, right? So I also have a mild case of long COVID right now. But we have these days where we can't be productive, where we have to rest. There's no choice, right? We're not able to do all the things that we used to be able to do. We're not able to run our marathons. We're not able to do our workouts. We're not able to maybe even take care of our children the way that we were used to able to before. Maybe not able to work, especially the way that we were before. So being able to take a step back and say, okay, how do I want to determine my own self-worth? What does that look like for me? Because I can't do it the way that I used to, because that would mean that I'm a big pile of poo, because I can't do those things anymore. So to me, we are all worthy because we exist, because we are here. There's no need to prove our worthiness to anything, to anyone, even to ourselves. We are just worthy. But I do understand that getting to that place can take some time, and it can take some reprogramming. So be kind to yourself within all of this, but do maybe sit down and ask yourself that question and just sit with it. How do I choose to determine my worth, my own self-worth? And then the other piece within that is you got to let go of caring what other people think about you. Because, long COVID is becoming more understood by the general population, because there are more people within it then. When I first got chronic fatigue syndrome, most of the doctors that I went to said, it's all in your head. This isn't real. And you look fine, or a lot of us look fine, but you can't get off the couch sometimes, or you can't get out of bed sometimes, or you're in a lot of pain, or this and that and this and that. And so people look at that. Some people look at that and they say, well, you're fine. It's just in your head. You just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go do this and that and this and that. And we can't do that. And really, in order to fully recover, you're going to have to come to terms with a different way of creating that self-worth, of finding your own self-worth that's not related to action. So that's it for today. I'm going to keep doing these for you. I'm really excited because well, within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Charles Lapp, who is one of the foremost doctors in the area of chronic fatigue syndrome, myalgic encephalomyelitis. And we're going to talk about how those are intertwined with long COVID and the differences and the similarities and where they overlap and where they differ. So I hope to see you then. And in the meantime, please send me your questions. Let me know how I can help you out. All right. Lots of love.